Hi, you're watching Alexa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm very excited because I actually have a pretty decent Pan Those Eyeshadows update for you. Which is a bit unexpected because I was slightly off schedule last month, but I think what I will do from now on is film my Pan Those Eyeshadows on the same day as I do my Partners in Cream and then maybe upload it a couple of days later because it just kind of makes sense. I'm already in that vibe of recapping everything that I've done over the month in terms of looks and product usage, so why not? This project was created by Alexi here on YouTube. She's not participating this year, but you can find her listed down below, and you can also follow the hashtag. So my current 5 is it's not really 5 eyeshadows, because sometimes when I am just about to make my goal, I'll roll in an extra shadow or two just to compensate. I had a shadow from the Maybelline Temptations palette right here, which was just that light mauve-y color up there, and I used that 10 times, so it's out. Red shade in the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette, which is this color right here. Guess what? I'm not really surprised I hit pan on it. It's baby pan. Because it was included in a project pan in 2020, I have quite a bit of pan hit in this product, so no surprise there, but it happened after 11 uses. So I gave it another use because I just had that hunch, and now I'm ready to roll it out. Love from the Sample Beauty Equalizer Volume 2 palette. I have used that 8 times this month. Decadent eyeshadow from the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette, which I am wearing a bit today. Whenever I wear a little bit of a blue or a purple kind of look, typically I've tapped that onto the corner somewhere, so that is how I'm getting my uses in. That only has 5 uses. Then we have Urban Decay Strange from the Naked 3 palette, and I made a mistake with what I said. I think I was saying in my last update that it was from Naked 2, but it's Naked 3, and it's just a regular brow bone type of color if you are a medium light complexion. The Laura Mercier African Violet from the Artistry palette, which was actually my most used shadow in this palette, and I hit pan on it after only 2 uses. So I decided, you know what, I don't need a bigger pan than that. The pan is actually not even baby. It's, you know, it's getting there, you know, it's like a toddler. And I, like I said, decided to roll it out because I want to focus on shadows that look less loved. So I will be taking that out, unfortunately. This taupey type shade right here in this Joe Fresh Neutrals palette. Can you believe it? I hit 2 pans in this project without planning it this month. That's fantastic. So that changes my pan percentage, which I haven't reported back to you guys about in quite a while. On December 21st, 2021, it was 3.7, right before I added the bulk of the new shadows I had acquired in a haul in November. So once I added those, my pan percentage went down to 2.91. But now that we've added 2 pans, I'm back up to 3.25. So quite happy about that, not gonna lie. In terms of complementary shades that I've used for looks, I mostly dipped into the Equalizer palette because there's just such a great variance of shades in here. I like to use Day and this one, Comfort, when I use Love, just as a gradient. Today I'm using Bottomless in the crease to help sort of fade that turquoise blue green vibe. Well, there's not a lot of green, but that's what the greenish vibe is. I gave it a bit of a greeny vibe. And I also really like this shade down here, which is called Time. It's iridescent, as well as the shade Sweet. They both have shimmer. They work as topper shades. You just dip in with your finger and they look fantastic in the inner corner. In terms of other complementary shades, in the Age of Opulence palette, I use basically anything that's turquoise when I dip into Decadent. There were a couple of occasional dips in Velvet and Curfew, Lavish as well, but that was only for maybe 1 or 2 looks. So let's talk about rollouts. We've got the Wet n Wild Red that has a bit of baby pan. We've got Laura Mercier African Violet, and then Maybelline Total Temptations, which I reached my goal usage of 10 uses on. Another thing to note is that the Love shade in the Sample Beauty palette and the Joe Fresh taupe both have 8 uses in them, so I don't know if I'll roll in a bonus shade at some point in this month, but I think not. I'm trying to keep it at the 5 shadow mark, or at least close to there, so I went ahead and rolled off camera but filmed the B-roll for it. So the new shades are, drumroll, Urban Decay Naked Heat, He Devil, Beauty Counter Bronze, the bronze color in the palette, and then we have the Stila Countless Color Pigment in Light Show, which has a name that does not imply what it is at all. Let me run down a few looks that I wore this month because I'm actually quite, you know, impressed with the looks that I came up with. They were not out of this world or anything. The first thing that I did several times actually, I would use a mix of the taupe shade in the Joe Fresh palette and the Wet n Wild Red. Why? Because anytime you have a shimmery shade like that and you mix it with a darker matte, they tend to work really well together. The next look that I have is pretty much the same thing, a mix of the taupe and the red, but I added liquid liner. I took some pink from the Sample Beauty Equalizer Volume 2 palette, and I used that sweet shimmer in the same palette to just kind of highlight a bit. The next look I have, I can't remember if I used the Wet n Wild or the Love shade in the Sample Beauty palette, but they're both kind of reddy, brownish kind of, well, more like red colors. But then I take the Decadent shade from the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette and I like to pack it on the outer corner. That's just my favorite way of wearing it because then you get these really nice blue sparkles, and the mix of the blue and the red make a purple. For look number 4, Beauty Bay Age of Opulence with Curfew and Lavish mixed and a bit of Crush on the lid, all from the same palette, over the boring Joe Fresh taupe shade. Look number 5 is the red and the taupe again, but some of the shimmery shades from Sample Beauty Equalizer Volume 2 palette were thrown in as toppers, and I used a bit of that bottomless shade that is kind of a chartreuse basically. I use that as a transition over the inner portion of the crease, and it adds a little bit of visual interest. And I've just found that color placements have as much of an effect on how your eyeshadow looks as color combinations. So that's something to keep in mind if you're bored of your Pan Those eyeshadows. Please comment down below what project you're working on. Have you had any great milestones hit recently? Let me know in the comments down below because I love to discuss that. And if you have any ideas for content that you'd like to see from me, please comment that down below as well, because I am working on a sort of spring going into summer list of content ideas to just kind of plan what I'm gonna do, because I'm a planner, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!